number. Big numbers. Big numbers. 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers. Blue hunts. Whole team counting, that's a big number.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today, we've got an NFC South matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Here we go. Get him.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. When we look at this unit like we are now, Greg Olsen has become such a reliable target in this league.
Loves to be considered the #1 option in the passing game in the offense he plays, and he lives up to it. Knows the defense is set for him, knows how to beat them.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. To throw is Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. And the big part about just watching him throw it seems almost effortless.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Give him 18. It's a Carolina first down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Extra point by Gay is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And the magnitude of this game, everybody knows it. The fans, obviously, the players and coaches. There's just within the palpable buzz right now. They know they control their own destiny.
Win, and you're in. And I think every player wants that. I think every coach wants that. I haven't been an organization yet that wants to be in a game where they have to rely on other teams to get them to their goals. In this situation, it's
trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there and sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Throwing, Winston. Steps away to his left. He'll run it. For a big guy, Jameis sure can move. Did a nice job there picking up the first down with his legs. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Yeah, Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too. And you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
54. Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
On second down, it's Jones. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 3rd down, Winston. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So on 4th down, on comes the Buccaneer kicker, Matt Gay. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And Gay knocks this one through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level. We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Newton. He's going to look deep for Moore. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ Moore with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you have to love the scheme that they just showed there because if you're going to run a deep post.
Oh, this is blocked. The Bucs pick it up. Through an opening, and there he goes. 30, 10, 5, and he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. Following the botch PAT, they're set to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their futures. They look ahead to the offseason. What spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better too.
After one, our score 12-6. So after the loss of 2, here's 2nd and 12 from the 23. Winston going to get this out to Evans. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First down, Tampa Bay there, a gain of 13. And he has now hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career catch.
Definitely worthy of applause, but I remember when 500 meant you were going to the Hall of Fame. Nowadays, in today's football, 500 puts you on the path, a significant number.
They go play action. Winston, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brian Burns able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Here's Winston. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the pass goes out of bounds, but he was not outside of the tackle box when he threw that. He's got to be careful.
You and I both know if it's even close, they're going to give it to the quarterback. They don't want to throw that flag unnecessarily. So if you're just in the area, you're going to be okay.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 16. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Carolina offense making their way out. We take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And as things start to come into focus here in the final weekend, their future still up in the air. Currently in possession of the 5 spot, but could fall entirely out of the postseason if this final day doesn't go their way.
Well, we're looking forward to the playoffs because, fortunately enough, we're going to be there to call some of these games. But when you're sitting where they are right now, the playoffs start with this game. They can't wait till next week and say, well, let's see if we're going to. No, they have to win this one to ensure that they're going to go. So their playoff run actually begins a week early.
By the way, I got my assignment for the playoffs. They have me doing every game.
I like that.
Are you there, too?
I like that. I just hope I'm with you.
I hope so as well.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner. Being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, here's Newton. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Lamb. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Panther first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's McCaffrey. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Newton. He's going to look deep for more. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, and they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
His kick is absolutely perfect. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. They get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Ready? Black 1,000. 59. Like the 59. Here we go. Here we go.
To throw again on 2nd down. Winston. He completes it to Evans. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Ready? Black 22. Green 17.
On 1st and 10, Winston. This one complete to Kelvin Harmon. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 3 receivers head out right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 3. They'll throw again. Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. K1 short. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Jameis to throw it. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened-up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Newton now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So we've come upon halftime here. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. From the 30 on 2nd down, Winston, he finds his target, it's Evans. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 19 yards there on the catch and run. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Winston throwing complete to Mike Evans. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 25 yards there on the catch and run. And another Winston to Evans connection. Mike Evans, he didn't play football until his senior year of high school. He was such a good basketball player down in Galveston, Texas. But I think he's happy he picked football up.
I don't think there's any.
And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, his 4th touchdown on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And when the quarterback drops and has a guy that wide open in the end zone, his eyes have to get just as big as grapefruits.
Oh, without a doubt. And this is the easiest throw you're going to get, and you're going to get the benefit of a touchdown on top of it. Make that throw.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the ground, McCaffrey. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right, safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Now it's Newton. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he's got his man. It's Samuel. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel. His 9th touchdown of the season, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Extra point try good by Gano, and that will get him one closer. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game, but that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Winston now. And this is caught by Evans. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. Working out of the gun, Winston. Caught by Jones. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Winston, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To the air again with Winston. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times you just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. And you got caught in between, and created a foul.
No gain, and it's second down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Throwing again on 2nd down. Winston. Evans has it left side. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 21. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it. So it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And an alley to run. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Ronald Jones, his 11th touchdown of the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A good pickup there, a 22.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big play there for Carolina. 52 yards. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Operating from the gun, Newton, and he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Chris Manhertz, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. The touchdown all set up by the big play one snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
Now, I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? You create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Again, it's Jones. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
But they didn't.
Both offenses have been clicking in this one. A lot of points on the board. We'll see if that trend continues. Now it's Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Back to throw. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
They'll look to throw. They